Greetings and welcome to another Giving Thanks every day, all day. We are here today, and whether you are wherever you are, we are all about 10 minutes to the top of the hour, wherever you are, and it's in the rise. It's early in the rise, you know. You know how giving thanks every day, all day. We come at you early in the rise. It could be 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you know. When I look at the time and I'm like, it's after 7 a.m., I'm not going live. But yeah, I go live early in the rise. And my subscribers were called risers. You know, we rise early. We are early in the rise, risers. However, now I call my subscribers angels. So we've evolved. The name has to change. It's gotta you gotta change. You gotta grow better than you were yesterday. You know what I mean? That's just what's gotta happen. And or you're not evolving. You're just existing. Are you just existing? So, hey, greetings. Give thanks for joining. We are live. I missed y'all yesterday. I wasn't on my giving thanks every day, all day, was out of the country. Okay. However, I'm here today and I'm giving thanks. Thanks for the like. Look at that. Thank you for liking the video and thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It's all the lists you have to use the language of YouTube. YouTube language. Subscribe, like, comment below, you know. So anywho, thank you for stopping your scroll to this video, because we here, well, I myself, we share the verse of the day. We also share the word of the day. And the theme today, as you can tell from the title, the theme is determined righteousness. You know, determined righteousness, basically. And we're gonna get started with that, because we always have a theme, you know. So when you subscribe to this channel, you become an angel. I'm looking for 1,000 angels. And we are out here doing good. We may not be noticed by people, but we're out here doing good. So my angel subscribers, right? My angel subscribers come on and they share, you know, comments about how they are, you know, doing good. What are you doing? You know, what have you gone through that may help someone else? Kaden Williams again. Mwah, my love, how are you? Greetings again. Welcome. Did you subscribe? Connor, hi Connor, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. You all are early risers. Yeah, you know, you're up with the angels. Whoa. You're up with the angels out here. Very blessed. Thank you, Caden. And my son is doing well. I'm getting ready to go out with him now. We're going to get some hot cocoa. But yes, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Connor, for subscribing. Thank you. You have become an angel. Let's welcome Connor. He's well, I don't know if it's a he or, but Connor, the user handle here, has subscribed. So we are looking at that subscriber as an angel. Okay, so thank you for subscribing to this channel, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking the video, because you don't even know what's to come. However, you know that there's a verse of the day, the word of the day, right? And a little Bible challenge at the end. But anyway, let's get to the verse of the day, shall we?
Verse
Verse of the day. That'll way you get time to get your coffee or tea or whatever. Verse of the day. It's freezing. I'm in the freeze. Verse of the day. I'm in the freeze. Verse. Verse of the day. That's my verse of the day intro song. Thank you so much for listening. It is 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Okay, so wherever you are out there in YouTube land, wherever you are out there, stay warm, be kind, and have a giving thanks day. Okay, have a giving thanks day. Give thanks for the day, for whatever comes your way. Here we go with the verse of the day. The verse of the day today is coming from the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew. And you know our theme, if you look at the title of this video, is Determined Righteousness. We're determined to do good. We're determined to do good irregardless of a world that is doing wrong. We're going to do good, right? And that's important. We don't want to be mean, and when mean is happening, we want to be kind. We want to be examples. You know, when they go low, you got to go high. You can't go low like that. You know, I was in relationships, people would tell me F you, and I would use the words bless you. I wouldn't repeat that to them, what they said to me that wasn't nice. And I had to leave situations because it was volatile. Good words gets tangled up with name calling and degrading and dehumanizing a person. And we shouldn't do that to each other. We should love one another. We should lift each other up. We should look at each other as another creation of the Creator, and look at that individual as a person that has been created just like you have been, however differently and uniquely each individual is. We honor that, right? Yes. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for tuning in. So our verse of the day is coming from Matthew. And Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45. So Matthew, you know, Matthew is one of the books of, where is my, one of the books of the scriptures that talks about the Savior. Oh, here it is. I'm looking for my, this is my, I'm like, where did it go? It's right up here. So our verse of the day is coming from the book of Matthew. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kaden, for your question. That is so kind of you to ask that. I am not a marshmallow lady. You know, I'm not a marshmallow lady, but hot chocolate. There is a childhood memory of hot chocolate for me that is, we call hot cocoa. And it's from the cocoa plant that's grown in the islands. And this particular island, St. Lucia, is where this cocoa pod is grown. And they grate this. They grate it up till and they mold it into a mold. And they roll it. And it hardens. And then you can grate it. You know, it's preserved in this mold. It doesn't have any other ingredients in it. It's just the cocoa that's grated. And once, you know, it's molded in this way, to keep it, right? That you could use it for your hot cocoa. You can put it as a topping on things. And I am going to get those from St. Lucia. I'm going to get those cocoa sticks, they call it, the big. I want to order a bunch of them and get, give them to people because you can use it in your hot cocoa and make cocoa tea. Um, that's not, yes, like hit the subscribe bell, the button, and the like. Thank you so much, Kaden. Bless you. We haven't even gotten into the verse of the day yet. But the verse of the day, as I said, is coming from Matthew chapter 5. So chapter 5, verse 43 to 45. It's a lot of fives in that verse of the day today. And the 545 is my dad. May is the 5th month, and 1945 is the year of his birth. So I'm thankful for that, because were it not for that, I wouldn't be physically here sitting, you receiving me now. So, we have to give thanks from which we came as from nothing, So, and we have to be appreciative of that as we journey in our lives. So our verse today, Matthew chapter 5, 43 to 45, speaks of you have heard. Okay, many of you have heard that, love your neighbor and hate your enemy, right? Many of you have heard this, and that had, hate is a strong word, it's a very strong word. I do not ascribe to that word. I may dislike your behavior and your ways of behaving, but I do not hate, your behavior. I leave that to a higher, a higher force than myself, because I am a mere human. I'm not equipped in that way. I'm easy to err. I can easily, drop an F-bomb, and call folks out. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to leave a vicious, voicemail for someone. I'm going to leave a voicemail that is, greetings, that way. And kind, with kind words. So the Matthew chapter 5, in our verse of the day today, you have heard that it was said, right, to love your neighbor and hate your enemy, right? This is what was taught. And we're in the book of Leviticus. And in Leviticus, in the Old Testament, these things were there. You had to sacrifice a lamb and, do all these things. And the New Testament, we're in the new, you're supposed to be new. You're supposed to, all the former things are no more. And you are a new creation of knowledge, that there is a goodness and a love from above that will not compare to any love that you may have on this earth. Okay? There's a movie I just saw called Splitsville. And the feeling of another individual having that power to make you feel happiness is interesting in that movie. And I looked at it and I said to myself, can they feel that way for the Creator? someone they don't, see around them, and still have that feeling of love, and can they do have that with the most righteous of righteous, that is the Almighty One that you don't see? And I asked that looking at that movie. It's called Splitsville. You got tune in. I don't know if it's on Hulu. I think it's on Hulu. But anyway, Matthew chapter 5 verse 43 to 45, said that is speaking of this love your neighbor and hate your enemy. However, this, that was in the day. That was the former ways, right? However, Matthew is saying, I tell you, look, love your enemies. Don't hate folks. And I had to get from that. I had to get from the word hate to love. And that was hard. That was hard because the enemy does not want happiness in our lives. The enemy wants to see you unhappy, see you struggle, see you down and out. That's the enemy, right? The enemy comes to take. Okay? But the Lord, the Jesus Christ, you all call the Almighty, came to give life and give that in abundance. And in abundance, meaning that you're healthy, you're wealthy, you're strong, you have a wise mind to stand up for what is righteous, what is mercy, kindness, love, all of the attributes that is written in the scriptures that describes who God is. Okay? So in Matthew, thank you so much for liking the video, by the way. Matthew is speaking to love folks who are persecuting you. Love folks who are racist. Love folks. Don't hate folks who do these things, okay? The current, administration posted some things of, I think it was an ape or something, a body of an ape with, the Obama's, face on this. And people are shocked and outraged, and it's like, okay, this is, people show you who they are. That does not mean that you go retaliate against anybody or anything. You love the racists. Okay? You love the racist. You love that oppressor. And in that love, you're going to find your gifts, your qualities that you can use to uplift yourself and your people in the process, and not feed the monster. Like, why feed that narrative? We have a young black woman calling herself gorilla. Okay, gorilla is a ape, is a primate. That's how white supremacy frames and looks at black people. That, apes and all these things. When if you look at apes, their lips are very thin lips, this thin. And they have no features of black people. So thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. We are in the verse of the day, and you just came in when I'm talking about Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45, that talks about the enemy and loving the enemy. And I'm talking about people who are mean and may have racism in them, and the system of racism exists and it demoralizes certain groups, and we cannot retaliate. Groups shouldn't retaliate against other groups. Like, we shouldn't have no fighting. We should be, kind to each other and be examples of what that kindness is. So if you attack me in a negative way, I'm going to show you what it is to be kind, in other words. Okay. And I was speaking of white supremacy sees black people as apes and gorillas. So we have a black woman calling herself gorilla, well, glorilla, but it just sounds like gorilla. And she's accepted with that name. That name has pushed her through into, the white supremacy. So because of that, we have this dehumanizing and demoralizing that we see in the administration. And that's how it has been. People talk about the United States is most divided than it's ever been. And I'm like, it's been divided when they put a division between black people and white people. Like, this is for color, this is for white. Like, what are you doing? You began that narrative. I didn't start this up. So Matthew is speaking of, look, we cannot do the former things and hate folks the way they hated us, the way they demoralized us, calling us gorillas and apes and these things. We have to stop doing that and feeding the monster. Okay? Glorilla, is now tasting the money of white supremacy, the money of it, being on Saturday Night Live, performing, in this with this name. And now her family, needs money, and it's all about this money thing. Money. People need it to buy groceries or to get food and water and a roof over their head, etc. 60% of the US population is living from paycheck to paycheck, according to statistics I just heard of. I'm like, what? That's more than half. Okay? So when we're up against certain things, we have to stay in the grace of what is defined as God. Okay? And a lot of times we have God being used and abused to fit the narrative of white supremacy. So the enemy we have to love, according to Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45. Love the enemy and communicate to those who persecute you. Communicate to the most righteous about those who persecute you. So that's what I do. That's what the Nyabinge does when they go beating the kete drum and the judgment drum. They're talking to their God about the persecution of the system of white supremacy. Okay, that's why Rastafarians have been dehumanized, because they are fighting against a system that has created a narrative that black people are apes and gorillas. So that's what white supremacy accepts. They accept the gorillas. They accept these names. Okay? But however, we are kings and queens. Okay? Queen Latifah, right? Looking at the black woman as a queen. So the narrative of white supremacy sneaks up. It's sneaky. It's very sneaky, okay? When I talk about sneaky, it's sneaky. It's very sneaky. So in Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45, and it's sneaky. It sneaks into the Bible. White supremacy does, okay? It sneaks in there. However, in Revelation, little things, you got to read certain, it's going to tell you Jesus' feet were as brass, his hair is like wool, it's not what is depicted by the pictures. Okay? And the doctrines of white supremacy, these doctrines of white supremacy tell us that God is white, Jesus is white, and everything is all right. And it pushes that narrative, okay? I didn't make this up. This is what it's been. It's been this way, and that's how it has been. All right? I come now to lift up the word, and in the word, there is life. And that is where I come from, looking at the word and the life in that word. So there's certain words that don't have life. I'm not going to utter because I have a life. All right. Hi, Linda. How are you, honey? So Matthew is speaking of love. Love these folks who are hating you because you're black. Love these folks, right? Communicate to the most righteous for these folks. In other words, leave these folks at the foot of the cross of Jesus and let the blood of the Lamb, let the blood of Jesus drip on the persecutors, the oppressors, the white supremacists who degrade and dehumanize other races to uplift themselves instead of becoming a humble nation that speaks of blackness as beautiful. Beautiful. That blackness is beauty, not demon or ugly or like they call dark and darkness. Why are you using dark and darkness and negating those words? Black is negative. No. Let's come to Matthew, because Matthew says, in order to be of love, when you are loving, you become children of love. And you have that protection of love. You're not out there fighting the enemy in the streets. You're fighting the enemy with love and kindness and letting go and letting righteousness flow. So you let the enemy, you don't feed the monster, in other words. You don't feed the enemy with attitude. You become love that allows you to have altitude. Not attitude, but an altitude that reaches far beyond the scope of humanity. To be a light for humanity, to show humanity, look, Matthew says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. Who is that? What is that? Is in heaven tranquility? is in heaven. There's no trouble, no, all this confusion. It's nothing like that. It's just kindness, and it's right here. You can get that. But like I said, white supremacy sneaks in. It's sneaky. Okay? That's what. J Dove, how are you, my love? Righteous lightning. Lightning is from high altitude. Exactly. And that's where you got to reach. You got to reach up there in your heart, in your life, in your words. Let your words, you know what you know. So yeah, Matthew chapter 5 verse 43 to 45 is our verse of the day, right? Let's get to our word of the day, because I could go on all.
It's the word.
Let's get to the word of the day. Word of the day, y'all.
It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day.
The word of the day today. Look, see, my rap is just sliding off. As you come on here, J Dove, you just get me all undone. Anyway, our word today is brought to us by 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the word of righteousness, grace, kindness, mercy, forgiveness, also ourselves, because you have become very dear. Look at that. 1 Thessalonians. Yeah. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8 is bringing in our word today. And our word today is determination. So our theme today, if you look at the title, is determined righteousness. Okay. Determined righteousness. Okay. And righteousness, as J Dove so wonderfully put it, lightning from above. Righteous lightning from above. And mebrek esat, yes, is the word for lightning. Okay, mebrek. So righteous mebrek. That's the Amharic word, honey, for lightning, is mebrek. So here we go. Let's get our word today, determination. And as I said, is brought to us by 1 Thessalonians. So deeply we care for you. Okay. Angels, my subscribers, right? My angel subscribers. Let's put this way. Come here. My angel subscribers, right? All of you out there, I care for you, okay? And I am determined, righteous determination, to share with you not only Matthew. I shared with you the gospel. They call it the gospel. I call it the living word. Okay, the living word. So the living word of righteousness, that is God, that living word from Matthew, I shared with you, right? And I'm determined to share not just that, but also myself, as I'm sharing with you now on the live early in the rise. We're 24 minutes or 25 minutes after the top of the hour. Okay, so wherever you are, it's about 25 minutes after that top of the hour. I'm sharing myself with you because all of you have become very dear to the cause of righteousness. That's why Subscribe to this channel so you can be part of the 1,000 angels. Subscribers is what YouTube calls y'all. And you become part of this. And I have a list of subscribers. I'm going to go through my list and raffle up one name to get something from me, because you all have become very dear. And 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8 is the inspiration. Okay. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of this. Let's get to our word today, determination. Are we ready? My determination takes me far. I'm determined, okay? I have projects in the pipe happening, and I'm determined to see them through. I have to make decisions that are tough. Sometimes I have to let staff go. I have my own payroll. I got people working with me. I tell them, you're not working for me. You work with me. Okay. Yes, I pay you. I give you what I can give you to do the work, to do the job. And it's the beginning of something that's going to be generational. So there are bumps in the beginning, there are, challenges, especially if someone is a partner in my life. They got to be strong. They got to be able to be away from me. I am away from them, and I'm working, you know what I mean? And they have to be supporting what I'm doing and not taking from what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I'm determined. My determination to succeed in helping the next generation, not for myself, but for the next generation, is important to the mission. Okay? So to the determination. So here we go with the word determination today. I think we should put the song back on. The word of the day.
It's the word.
I went off into, look at this, we're 40 minutes here.
It's the word of the day.
Let's get the word of the day. Determination.
Word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day.
In every person's life, there will be times of ease and times of struggle. In the tougher times, it's natural to feel discouraged and tempted to give up on plans and dreams. When discouragement sets in, I remember I am fully human and fully divine. A righteous being endowed with many divine gifts. I fortify myself by invoking my innate qualities of strength and power. Strength and power are qualities that give me the determination to keep going, to stay the course. Where are we? What camera am I looking at here? Stay the course. I can use my goodie. That's what they call body. I call it a goodie. It's a temple. It's a vessel. It's an avatar that needs to be looked at as sacred. We just don't throw it around, right? It's sacred. So I can use that and the mind, the wise mind, to accomplish what I set out to do. I have to take my goodie and move it. I have to get it on the plane and go this place. I got to meet with that person. I got to go over to there. I got to speak to someone in their face. I have to physically go places in order to get accomplished what I need to accomplish. right? And what I accomplished, what I set out to do. However, I also know there is more to me than that. There's more to me than that. The attributes of God, and I mentioned these attributes: kindness, mercy, love, forgiveness, long suffering, meekness, integrity, humbleness. Okay, all these attributes are mine to use. They're yours to use too. They're mine to use. I know in myself and move forward, not backward, but forward with determination. Are you with me? Are you tracking with me? With determination, we are going to move forward, not backward. Okay? Because First Thessalonians, that's bringing in our word today, determination, mentions that we have to know that we ourselves need to be in it to win it. You got to be in it to win it. We are determined to share righteousness. Okay? Yeah, to share righteousness. And that brings me to our Bible challenge. We are finishing the book of Leviticus. Yes, the book of Leviticus is finishing. Well, tomorrow it's going to be finishing. But today we look at the Sabbath. What is the Sabbath for you? It's written that we must work for 6 days and rest on the seventh day. Do you do that? I have 7 likes on this video, 7 likes. So we have 7 days of a strong. It's called weak, but they can be weak. He is strong. So the strong, because it's a song, they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, you know that song, right? So I don't use words that are weak. So 7 days, okay? 7 days. Now, these 7 days, are they days that you have work? Some people work 5 days and they're off for 2 days. Some people work 6 days and they're off 1 day. Some people work 7 days and they're not off at all. They work 7 days. So I have to look at this for myself. Like, I have to be very intentional and determined to be able to stop the work. And on that 1 day, I rest. However, I speak of rest as when I am laying and my body is at sleep. It's in the REM. Okay. But according to Leviticus, okay, we're in the book of Leviticus, and Leviticus chapter 21 to 23 for today, we have to know that there is one that knows we must come apart and rest a while, or else we may just plain come apart. So we have to rest a while, rest a while. And I'm glad that we're reading this now, because I have to rest a while. I have to take some time to rest. I have to take that time. I have to, be with family. I have to, look at my mom, take care of my mom. And you know what I mean? People are not here forever. And it's important that we take that time to rest ourselves as well as to be with the loved ones that are in our lives. And taking that time, because I work constantly. Okay, I work 7 days. Every day I'm doing some kind of project or working. So I have to, in my mind, I have to stop it. I have to cease from work and use that to rest, read my book, read the scriptures, stay in that, and have that Sabbath and really hold the Sabbath. Some people's Sabbath is Saturday. Some people's Sabbath is today, Sunday. Some people's Sabbath is Tuesday. So whatever your Sabbath day is, it's written in Leviticus, there are 6 days. However, that's the former things. This is the Old Testament. So this is past. 6 days, ain't no 6 days no more, right? When you may work. But the 7th day is a day of Sabbath rest, a day of sacred assembly. You are not to do any work. Wherever you live, it is a Sabbath to the Lord. So in Leviticus, this is 23, the chapter 23 in Leviticus. And, it mentions that. And what do you all think about that? So leave a comment. Leave a comment about the Sabbath and what do you think about the Sabbath day? Is it Saturday? Is it Sunday? Is it Tuesday? The Ethiopian Sabbath is Tuesday. Seventh Day Adventists, they look at the seventh day as Saturday. The Lutheran, Sunday is like today is the Lutheran worship assembly gathering is today, Sunday. But Tuesday could be a day where we could have as the Sabbath too, for those who look at Ethiopian culture, heritage. People say I look Ethiopian, and I haven't ever been there yet. So you're gonna travel with me, subscribers. That's what I'm telling you. Get on this channel because you never know where it may go. So we are out of time. Oh my goodness, it's been 50 minutes now already. So have a blessed day. I'm gonna go get some hot cocoa and maybe a donut. Have a blessed day. Leviticus, not Leviticus. Thanks for the correction. Thank you, Earth. Love you for the correction. Subscribe to this channel. Like the video, and guess what? I'll see you next time. Remember, stand in love, don't fall in. Take good care.